On the computer. Okay. So John, would you like to start us off?
Yeah, I think I can get things arranged so people can see the,
Okay.
yeah, it looks like everyone can see that here. All right, so this is something that, in pretending I have somebody in front of me, what we're going to do, dear sir or ma'am, is we're both going to participate in this particular effect. So you can see I got a pile here of cards. What I'm going to do is break this into two piles. Now with this pile, I'm going to have you pick a card. When you get the card, memorize it, smell it, do whatever so you remember what it is. Then I'll have you put it back in the deck. And then we'll do the same thing with me. This will be the pile that I picked the card from. So let's go ahead and start. Go ahead and pick your card, memorize it. And I think you got it memorized. I think you've smelled it. You know what everything is. Let's go ahead and put it back. Just put it in the deck anywhere there. And we'll just go ahead and put it like that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing here. I am going to go ahead and pick a card. Okay, I got it memorized. Let's go ahead then and put that card back in the deck. Now, again, I want to emphasize this is the one that you choose your card from. This is the one that I choose my card from. If things work right, this will be very interesting. Now, what I'm going to do is just put the two piles together here. And as I said, we'll go ahead and look at the cards. And I just happen to notice, in case anyone sees this little crook here, I went to the doctor here last week and I asked him what it was. He says it's arthritis. And I go, okay, well, can I still play the piano? And he goes, yes. And I go, well, that's funny because I never learned how to play it in the first place. All right. Okay, let's see if the fates, the magic fates will cooperate in here. What I'm going to do is I turned it the other way. And let us just see. Ooh, what do we got here? All right. Let's see. Well, doggone it. I knew somebody is going to embarrass me, like me. All right. Well, anyway, there was one card I was able to get out of this, and it's the card that I chose, which is the Ace of Spades. Now, your card is in here somewhere, but for some reason, people didn't, or whoever is in charge of all of this didn't get it the way it's supposed to be. But regardless, that's, and I can't tell you how many times I practiced this week or these past 2 weeks. So, and the good thing is I did not swear, which means because I did not swear, I don't have to go to confession.
Okay. All right. Good job. Thank you. It was entertaining. You had some good presentation. You were talking to us. There were some jokes. You gave
not good ones, but
you gave good, well, I didn't say they were good jokes. I just said that they were jokes. They were recognizable as jokes. Right. So that's a good start. I think I saw where the problem was. The deck the packet to your left. Mm-hmm. The one that the spectator chose from, you flipped it over twice.
Okay.
You flipped it over once when you put it down after I selected my card.
Right.
And then you flipped it over again when you put it on top of the other pack.
Okay. So it's only one flip. That's all right.
Flip it over once.
Okay.
So they'll both be oriented in the same direction.
All right.
Okay. All right. But good try, and sometimes it happens. That's why we practice, and not only practice, that's why we rehearse, because practicing is different from rehearsal.
Right.
We and my favorite distinction of the difference there is when I was really little. My father's a magician, and he got a suspension, and so it's a board that goes over the backs of two chairs.
Okay.
And I would lie down on the board, and then he would remove one of the chairs, and I remain suspended. And we practiced and we practiced and we practiced in the living room, and it's all good. And then he goes to perform for people, and he is so busy moving to the music and connecting with the audience, and he is not watching what he's doing. And he's lifting up the board to remove the chair, and he's lifting and he's grooving with the audience, and he's lifting and he's grooving with the audience, and I start slipping off the other side of the board. because he's not paying attention to what he's doing, because now suddenly he has an audience and he's so busy focusing on that he's not focused on what he's doing. So there's a whole one, you practice for yourself a million times, and there's a whole nother level of practice doing it for an audience, where you think about your audience and your interaction and where you want to look, so that you can still do the technical part when you're making that connection with your audience. And it's like a second level of practice. So good job. This is a great start. Thank you, John.
Oh, you're welcome.
Any other, I'm gonna unspotlight myself before we move on to Julie. Anybody else have any thoughts or suggestions for John? No? Okay, yes, John.
Yeah, well, I thought it was really good when the first time he flipped the deck over. I thought that was really good and natural, that you would never really catch it later on. So that first move was really good. So if you're going to keep anything, keep that one. Then you can just move it right over. I thought that was really good.
Oh, thank you.
Nice.
Yeah, I kind of had that same feeling too. It did look pretty natural. So yeah.
Can we see the move again?
All right, well, let's.
I think I'm spent.
Okay. You'll watch it if he lets me leave it in the video. You can watch it on YouTube later.
Yeah, I have no problem with the video being out there. That's no problem.
Okay, awesome. Thank you, John.
Thanks.
Okay, let's see. We've got Julie.
Okay. I don't know if we see, do you see enough of the table? I hope
Julie and her
so.
cat.
Yeah, you see a cat too. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully you see, yeah. Okay. They're maybe a little bit better. Okay.
Yep, we can see.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's one of the hardest parts of the trick. And now it looks very distorted to me. Okay. All right. So, all right. In this trick, I'm going to try to read somebody's mind. Is it okay to ask for a volunteer or no?
Absolutely.
All right. Who's volunteering?
I'll volunteer.
Oh, cool. Oh, tell me your name. You're like, look like a little box to me. You're Paul.
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 Okay. Cool. Okay, Paul. Okay, so we're going to be reading your mind today with the help of this deck of cards and this crazy, it's basically a file folder I kind of appropriated from work. And we also have this cat. That's sort of the unexpected. Well, this could be the variable in all this. Who knows? Like the cat could jump up at any minute and then the whole experiment will be over. But we're going to try this experiment. So let me show you how this works. So what we're going to be doing here is you see this rectangle with these question marks.
Yes.
So one at the time, I'm going to be flipping cards on this little, I guess, kind of tray-like apparatus. And you're going to decide whether this is the card for you, whether you sense this is a card that you would like. And if it's a card that you don't want, I'm just going to flip it onto the table. So tell me when you think you sensed the card that is the right card for you in this experiment.
Now.
Oh, okay. So this card?
Yes.
Okay. Wow, that was quick. Okay, so you didn't want this card, correct?
That's correct.
The card's already dealt. And you didn't want this next card, or we could even potentially continue to deal further. So this card is your card.
Yes.
Okay, great. Okay, so before I do anything with this card, let's take a quick look at what you did not choose. So actually you didn't choose most of the deck. So you have these cards here that were not chosen because we didn't even get to those cards. And then we have these cards here that you also did not choose. We passed those cards by. So let's have a look at, I have a prediction written here. So would you like to see that?
Yes, I would.
Okay, great. So I predicted that you would be stopping at I don't know if you can even see this, the Jack of Hearts. And this is a card that you chose.
That's right.
Hey, thank you.
All right, nicely done.
Oh, wow. Well, that's good because I was very anxious about this trick, and I even got a magician friend to help me with it. And he sort of walked me through it, and it kind of helped a little bit, I think.
Okay, that's great. That is a
Yeah.
totally legitimate thing to do, to ask for help. That's-
Okay,
That's great.
right. I just hope I don't bother him every week. That's what I'm worried about.
And the only constructive comment in the chat is that people wanted to see more of your cat.
Well, what can I tell you? She's trying to sleep, but here we go.
No.
That's Mara. Sorry. Now she will go back to bed. Okay.
Okay. Great. So well done. Any yay cat. Any comments, thoughts, suggestions in the room?
Hi, Sarah. The only comment I would make is that
Who's that?
when this is Sudhir.
Oh, there you are. Sorry, I
Hi.
couldn't find you in there.
So the only comment I would make is that when Julie, when you put the unwanted cards down,
Right.
what Ryan had done was he had laid them down in haphazard fashion so that they were all in a group sort of thing, not stacked neatly on one side, because that way, when you drop the other
Right.
card,
Right.
it will fall into the middle of all that as opposed to
Right.
somehow be distinct. So that's the
so
only thing. Again,
So you're
that's my
trying to be
observation.
too neat, which is hardly anyone ever accuses me of being too neat. I mean, you see all my, well, actually these books I sort of semi cleaned up because I'm embarrassed by how cluttery I really am. So I should go back to my cluttered self for this.
It's a good point. You want the table to be chaotic.
Okay.
So that when you add one more card, it doesn't stand out as, well, these are in a line and this one's not in the line. That the new card is not discernible. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. I don't think it was discernible, but I still see what you mean. It would be even easier to hide it if it was a mess.
I think you got there, but it
Right.
started out as you had a line of cards here and a small fan of cards over here, and you had a long fan of cards over here, and then you kind of messed them up.
Okay.
And then you got there and it was fine, and I don't think it was, it wasn't, it didn't catch the eye.
Okay.
But there was a process of getting there, and if instead of doing a fan, like a spread of the cards,
Right.
if you picked them up in your hand and kind of sprayed them or dropped them around a little bit,
Okay. Oh, that's a good idea.
yeah, then you avoid the multiple steps of getting there, and it looks
Okay.
more casual.
Okay.
Sudhir, good point. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Henry
you.
has a comment.
No, all I wanted to say was that I tried it both ways, as a prediction and as written in Mark Wilson's book, because I do have a set of jumbo cards. And I found that using my jumbo card here, it made it a little easier because the cards fall off the jumbo card much easier, and then the reveal would look something like this. You see,
Right. Okay.
yeah. So it's just a little, it's a different impact, but
Right.
but no, a jumbo card works very, very well too, I
Right.
find. Yeah.
But I don't mind the mind reading kind of shtick though, because that sort of kind of suits my personality and the stuff that I'm into. So if, I show this to two people and the second person really was fooled by it. And I think he liked that aspect of it.
Awesome.
So
Great.
I don't know.
And Henry, I'm glad you experimented.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
great.
that's cool.
So thank you, Julie.
Great. Yay.
Well done. And let's see, we have Linda, who is incognito. Let's may I rename you?
Yes, can you do that?
I can.
Oh, good.
I'm the
Oh,
host.
good.
I can do anything.
Good. Yes. I'm on vacation down at I'm snowbirding. And so
Ooh.
I'm sharing a laptop with my husband, and it's his laptop. So we had to kind of mess around with the settings a little bit. So let's see if I do this. Rich is here, and yeah, we'll try this. So Rich, would you shuffle these cards? Okay, now would you cut the cards? Now you cut to that card. Would you pick up that card and look at it? Don't show it to me, but you could show it to everybody there. I'll close my eyes.
Okay.
Okay, then put it down on this deck. All righty, and then we'll put this deck. Now, if I'm doing this, let's see, I'm gonna start flipping over cards, and you think about your card. And let's see, I'm not sensing anything yet. Are you thinking about this? Here, thanks. I'm almost getting your thoughts. Yes. You're thinking, yes, I'm getting your thoughts. Let's see, I'm getting a very strong thought. Would you be amazed if the next card I turn over was your card?
Yes.
You would be amazed? Is that your card?
Yes.
Yay!
Yay, Linda, and yay, Rich. Well done. Let's hear it for the
This is
lovely
Rich.
assistant. Lovely assistant. Thank you, Rich. Okay, great job, Linda. Thank you. That worked out nicely. You gave good instructions. Well done. One thing that I sometimes do when I do an ending like that is to sell it even a little harder.
Uh-huh.
I'll pick up the next card and look at it. So that you've got all the cards on the table, and it's, the next card I turn, kind of look at it and go, yeah, the next card I turn over is going to be your card. You really sell that it's the one in your hand.
I like it. I like
And then
it.
when they say, yeah, I'll bet that, I'd be, that's not my card. I don't think, whatever reaction or you're going for, then you go, okay, and you put it down and you go for their card.
I like that. I like that.
It just, you got to be careful to avoid the word this. It's not this
Oh.
card is your card. It's the next card I turn over.
The next.
But your body language sells that it's going to be the one in my hand. And that
Thank you.
adds a nice little bump to it. Any other comments or thoughts for Linda? Okay, no comments from the room.
Good job.
I have a
agree.
comment.
Oh, we're getting, Eric has a comment. Let's see.
Yeah, I would say you can even go slower with the cards when you're dealing them, because I know you have to go through the whole deck because you have 52 cards, even though you won't go that far. But really sell the point that you're making that mental connection, with the person who you're doing it with. Like, is this it? No. And then you have to go too slow. But the idea that it's not a trick you're doing, like I think as Ryan was saying last week or last time we met, is that it's not a trick you're doing, it's magic. So make it more, that, could it be this? No, it's not this. Could it be this? No, it's not this. That's what I would suggest.
Thank you. Good idea. Thank you.
Yeah, you can even do, you can take it in whatever direction you want, but you can say something about a card. You turn over a card. Oh, I see you had a mental reaction to that one. I learned a lot from. Maybe it's a club. I'm starting to see something that I'm getting a reaction to black cards. Whatever it is. You can make up whatever you like. I mean, it's but that you're kind of gauging the vibrations or whatever your thing is as they react to the cards. Like, and kind of give it a little more action while you're flipping. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yes, John.
What I noticed, or what I didn't notice, is we know how it's done. We know it's the key card, but when she started going through it, I didn't even notice her glancing to see what the key card was, which I thought was kind of neat.
Yeah. There's also, I hadn't really thought about this. You can, by taking, I guess it would be a deeper cut. Because I think you cut the cards. He cut the cards to put to close up the deck. Okay. If you tell him the first time he cuts the cards, and you may or may not want to do this, it's, you know, just an idea. I haven't really thought it out. If you tell him to take a deep cut, then the card will end up closer to the top. Because if you cut, here, let me show you. So if you have the cards here, as I start talking, here's my.
Will you highlight yourself?
Oh,
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
if you
My
don't
bad.
mind. It would just
My
be
bad.
easier. Yep.
My bad. I forgot. Remove spotlight. Add spotlight. Thank you. So as I take the cards, if I cut about the middle, when I put the when I complete the cut, the key card and the chosen card are going to be pretty deep in the deck, and you're going to have to go through a lot of cards to get to it. If, however, you tell your volunteer to take a deep cut and take, so this is their card, this is the stack with the key card in it, it goes on top, my key card's going to be a lot closer to the top, and it'll take a lot less time to get to it.
What about if they happen to take a small cut?
Okay, a shallow cut, sure.
What if I do a second cut, so I have 3 piles, and then I just have to be careful to put the.
You could totally do that, so that, you know, here's the shallow cut. Take another cut. Okay. Now here's the problem. They could pick either one of those 2 packets for their card. They cannot have that card.
Right.
So what I might do, now I'm brainstorming, and okay, so you'd say if they take a shallow cut, you could tell them, you know what, do it again, and have them take a second cut and put it on top. And now they have a deep, you know, that now they have a big packet and a little packet.
Okay.
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 And I dropped everything on the ground. That's wonderful. It wouldn't be a class if it didn't end with Sarah playing 52 pickup. All right. So thank you so much. Yay, Linda.
Thank you.
Well done. Okay, which means that it is now time for me to introduce today's guest professor, who hopefully has finished her lunch. As soon as I find her intro, which I have placed in a secure location. Here it is. Okay, Magical Katrina. The entertainer and teacher that you're about to see has traveled all over the world performing magic. She has lectured for the International Brotherhood of Magicians and done a Penguin Live lecture. You may recognize her from the television show Penn and Teller Fool Us, and she is going to appear on the next season of the TV show Masters of Illusion. So you'll say that you got to work with her when. Please give a warm welcome to Magical Katrina.
Hello, everyone. It was so exciting to see you all do magic. And John, I loved your performance. And I also loved, we're forgetting names, Julie's performance. And there's the third person, and you all did it in order, but it was great. And John, I think that's so funny that you don't know piano, because I also don't know piano, but I own one. It's just for show. But anyway, I know we already did a little bit of magic, but I thought I would start off by doing a little bit of magic to introduce myself. So I'm just curious, does anyone here play any card games, or they're familiar with playing cards? I want to volunteer. Raise your hand if you are familiar with cards. Oh, Ron, I like your tiger. By the way, guys, I do a lot of virtual magic. That's actually what my penguin lecture was about. So this is my opener of my virtual show. I wanted to show you guys. Ron, what is your favorite playing card? Helps if you're unmuted. I'm going to ask you to unmute. You just click yes. Yay.
I'm unmuted, and my favorite playing card happens to be the 3 of clubs.
The 3 of clubs. Okay, I like it. You guys are definitely magicians, because you didn't say ace of spades or queen of hearts, which are the most commonly chosen cards. No, Ron, you think outside of the box. You have a tiger as your background. You chose the 3 of clubs. So what I want you to do is I want you to take the 3 of clubs. I want you to hold it in front of you. Don't just use your imagination. You don't have to use your actual deck. We're going to use our imagination. I love it, Ron. Okay, now on the count of 3, I want you to take that 3 of clubs and I want you to throw it into this empty glass. Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh. Did you guys see that? That's pretty crazy, Ron. Whoa. You
It's
guys
crazy.
you could see a card in the glass. Can you guys hear a card in the glass making that like clink, clink, clink sound? Yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Clink, clink, clink. Your card. The 3 of clubs from your mind to my glass. Ron, how did you do that?
How did you do that?
You must have learned that in the first class. Okay, so unfortunately though, I'm not going to teach you guys that trick. That was just me showing off, but I do want to show you guys something fun. So anyway, round of applause to Ron, because we're going to start our magic, yay. So our magic class today. So I noticed that someone messed up a little bit, and I just wanted to share a story because when I first auditioned at the Magic Castle, this was like 6 years ago, I did a very basic card trick, but I was so nervous performing for other magicians that I messed up and I did not find their card. And what I did not know then would have saved my bacon, and hopefully will save yours, is having an invisible deck. This is totally off the rails. It's not something we're teaching that was on the lesson plan, but I just want to let you guys know about invisible deck. Do they know about this, Sarah? No. Okay, this is good to have a backup plan. Just
No, we didn't get that. We didn't get to that in section 1. I was saving that for you.
Oh, okay, great. Well, so I'm not going to teach this to you. It's like probably $10 on Amazon. It's called an invisible deck. Write this down, invisible deck, and it's amazing. I'm just going to show you.
I thought that was just Katrina. I thought that was just your story, and I was playing along. I didn't realize that you were actually talking about an invisible deck. So,
no, like they should,
Sorry.
because
Yes.
like so if you mess up, this is great. It's like a safety net if you mess up. It's not it has no skill really required at all. So it's a great safety net. It's a way to reveal any card of the 52 cards if you accidentally mess up a trick. So if you're new to magic, have this in your pocket because it's a great like save the day thing. I'll show you really quickly an example of it. It's a lot like the trick I just did where anyone can think of a card and you reveal the card. So I'll just show you really, really quick. Let me, can I get a volunteer? Raise your hand, literally raise your hand. If you do the little emoji thing, that's like annoying and I have to just like literally raise your hand if I can have you. Oh, well, Ron, oh my gosh. Hey, Ron again. Crazy. Okay. Ron, can you just name a card, any card at all?
7 of diamonds.
7 of diamonds. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Last night I had a dream that you would choose the 7 of diamonds. And when I woke up, I took that card, I flipped it upside down in the deck and I put it back inside of this box facing the opposite direction of all the other cards. If I really can see the future of my dreams, then your card, the 7 of diamonds, would be facing the opposite direction of all the other cards. Do you guys want to see if I can?
Yes.
Crazy. Okay, let's find out. Okay, so everyone, if you see a card facing the opposite direction of all the other cards, I just want you to scream uncontrollably, like, ah. Okay, 7 of diamonds. Okay, so they're all facing this way. If you see another card, just tell me, you know?
Ah.
I love it. This is the interactive part of the virtual show. Is it over this way?
To your left hand.
I do that to kids and they're like, no, it's the other way.
Oh.
Okay, so it's this card.
Yeah.
The 7 of diamonds. What? Okay, there's no sleight of hand involved. This is very easy. I'm not going to teach this to you, but just buy an invisible deck. It's amazing. I can reveal pretty much any card that you say. So that is the best thing ever. Since you're all learning, have that as a safety net. It's a good safety net. Like when you're a trapeze artist, have a safety net in case you don't reveal a card. So yay, thank you so much, Ron. That's my biggest note for beginners. Have that because you can avoid embarrassment. Okay. Okay, so that wasn't even part of it. Let's start with the actual lesson plan. well, first, so I do things a little bit differently. I do a lot of magic workshops virtually for companies and things like that. And usually when I start, I like to do like breakout rooms because it's a fun way that everyone can kind of meet each other. And also it doesn't take a lot of time. So what I wanted to do is do a little breakout room so you can all meet each other and share a little bit about your magic now that you've all met me. So there's 18 of you. So I'm going to make 9 breakout rooms. And what I'd like you to do is you're going to be put in a little room with another person for like 2 or 3 minutes. And I just want you to share your name, where you're from, and if you were at the last class and your relationship to magic, like why you're here. And it's okay if you forget all those things and you just end up saying your name. But I'll give you 2 minutes to meet each other, and I'm going to assign you to breakout rooms, and then we'll all come back here together and learn some of the magic. But I thought you should meet some of your classmates. Okay, so I'm going to make some breakout rooms right now.
You've all been assigned to breakout rooms. How am I not in a breakout room? Larry, can you join your breakout room?
Share some of your experience with magic, and we had some fun insights. Great, so the first thing that we're going to learn today, after we've done those breakout rooms, is we're going to learn the Hindu shuffle. This is one of sound effects by Sarah Krasson, the resourceful. So we're going to learn the Hindu shuffle. If you guys have this book, it's on page 47. I have notes. I wrote it down. Nice. 47. Just so if you want to write down that information, I'm not sure what you get in your packets. Great. So we're going to learn magic now. So first, what we want to do, I'm going to spotlight myself so that you can all see me, is we're going to learn this thing. This is important for getting into the Hindu shuffle. This is called mechanics grip. Raise your hand if you know mechanics grip. A few people. Valerie does. Paul does. Paul's 2 blocks from my house. Paul's at the Magic Castle in the parking lot. That's cool. Eric,
it's a little chilly out there, but
a little. I mean, you know, it's LA, so we don't really have weather. But okay. So what I want you to do is we're going to learn mechanics grip because this is step 1 to learning the Hindu shuffle. This is like step 1 of most magic tricks. A lot of them is mechanics grip. Mechanics grip is when you have your pointer finger creating kind of like a basket for the cards so they don't fall forward. And on one side of the deck, you have your 3 other fingers, and then you have your thumb. So if you guys want to screenshot this is kind of what it looks like. This is the mechanics grip. Henry, that looks great. Eric, that looks great. Look at all you guys. Okay, now Hindu shuffle is you take your other hand that you don't have the mechanics grip and you hold it from above. Now, if you want to figure out how to hold it above, you just do a mechanics grip. Both are mechanics grips, the way that you hold the cards for this, and the way that you take them down. Here, I'll just show you, I'll show you what Hindu shuffle is, so you can see what we're aiming to do. So as you can see, both the top cards is in mechanics grip, and the bottom cards, the little basket with my hand that I'm putting the cards in, is mechanics grip. So that's why that's step 1, is learn mechanics grip. In order to start this, do mechanics grip with the cards facing up like this, in whatever hand you're gonna have on top. So it just depending on you. I'm kind of ambidextrous. I think I'm more right-handed. So if you're right-handed, have it in your right hand with the face up. Great. Now turn it down. And don't do this in front of people. Just start like this, right? You don't want to show them this card. Just start like this. But for you, for intensive purposes of getting into this, it's mechanics grip down. Now, Hindu shuffle is you take your, for me, I'm using my left hand. and you take your middle finger, sorry guys, and your and you want to keep your hand holding the cards really tight so they don't fall out, but you want the top part to be a little looser so that you can pull a little packet out with your thumb and your middle finger. Drop it into your little mechanics grip basket. You have a little basket you're making with your hand. Eric, that looks great. Look at Eric. Everyone be like Eric. And Owen, that looks good. Also, if you your hands, then I can compliment you and also give you notes. So it's nice if you're framed sort of like me and you have your face and your hand on the deck. Now, when you do this in person, you're not going to do this because you're not a bird, right? This is how I do it. But because I'm trying to have my face and everything in the screen, I'm doing it like this. So awesome. Okay, let me put on gallery view so I can check out if you guys are got it. And here, let me do it as well. So got your basket, putting it into your little hand basket, mechanics grip. I'll show you from the side how that looks. And you can do this a few different ways. It's kind of up to you. You can make the motion be bottom hand is pulling the cards off and top hand is staying still. See how I'm doing that? Top hand is staying still, bottom's pulling the cards off. Or opposite, you could move the top hands and keep the bottom still. See that? Oh my gosh, it's the same move. I see Henry's kind of doing both. You can do that too, like move both.
I'm not getting this at all.
Oh no, that's okay. I'm gonna ask for questions. So who said we're not getting this at all?
Oops, that was me, Julie. I'm
No,
hopeless.
This is a safe space. Okay, so Julie, where should I slow down? What's happening here? You have mechanics grip, girl. That looks good. You got that.
I got a what? Okay.
Got it. The way you're holding the cards is
That's fine.
I would say your pinky though looks like it's really stretching a lot. Move it to the other side with the other three hands. And then if you tilt the cards forward, so not back because then they'll all fall out, tilt them forward so that your little hand basket is making them not fall. Yeah. Perfect. Then you can kind of start there. Now take the cards, put them in mechanics grip face up in the other hand. So literally what you were doing, but face up in the other. And again, move that pinky to here. And by the way, thank you, Julie, for being my helper, because I'm sure, by the way, I will say, if you have a question, there's probably like 7 other people that have that question and are too afraid to ask. So Julie, you're just being like the person that represents everyone, but I'm sure everyone else is stumped as you. So thanks for being brave. Okay, so 3 fingers on one side, thumb on the other side.
Wait a minute, I'm doing this wrong and I know it. Wait.
No worries. It's hard to teach virtually. So okay, so your pinky, your ring, and your middle finger are on one side.
Pinky,
Okay, so here, let's try this. Take these 3 fingers, the thumb, the pointer finger, and my favorite one.
Yeah, the middle one. Okay.
And we're just going to simplify to start. Hold it between those 3. And how you do that is thumb on one side. You have 4 fingers happening right now. Okay. So if you do you want to break it down or start with how all the fingers on it? What's be better for you, Julie? Okay. So simplify. I just want to simplify. If I take away 2 fingers, it's a little easier. I figured, simplify. So 3 fingers, the 3 fingers next to each other over here. Hold them like this, like you're like, come here, somebody, come here, come hither. Don't actually do that. That's not part of the trick, but that's how you'll remember.
Okay.
Your pointer finger is below. Now take the cards face up. Put them in there. So pointer finger. Here. So so you're doing this, Julie. I'll show you.
The pointer finger goes here, you're saying?
Check it out. Yeah, so check it out. You're doing like this. You want to do this. So pointer finger's on the short side.
Okay, that's the pointer finger right here. Okay.
Wait, how do I even do? I'm like breaking it down and I'm like, what am I doing? Yeah. It's mechanic script. So this is what it looks like. Maybe if I just hold still and you look, you can see what's happening. So thumb is on one side, that's a long side. Yes, thumb is on a long side.
Okay,
Yeah, like that.
Pointer is on the short side.
okay,
And then all the 3 other fingers are on the other side.
okay, so it's like this.
Yes, like this. And if you want to get out your phone and take a picture of this, that will help with your learning process. Just go like,
Okay, I'm gonna do that. Okay,
yeah, do that. Take pictures of your hands. And it should be like, it should just look like this and be pretty natural.
okay,
This is mechanic script. It can be face up or face down. This is mechanic script.
okay.
Now, or take a picture of my screen. I love it. Very good.
Okay, obviously I have to spend some mental time with this, so sorry to hold up the class. Okay.
No, you're good. And I think, as I said, and I teach like companies and children and all sorts of things. If you have a question, probably there's a bunch of other people who aren't too afraid to ask. So no, that's great. I go too fast sometimes. So anyway, we are in mechanics grip with it face up. Move your hand down. Yeah, way to go. Okay, now everyone. Got a phone call. Okay, take your thumb and your middle finger and pointer finger, those 3 fingers, and see how I am pulling from the top. Yep. And my hand is coming from below and pulling up from the top so that I can slide it off. And this is my pointer finger that was on the bottom here to make this little mechanic script basket. It just falls into this basket that my hand has made.
Okay.
That looks awesome. Look at you go, Julie. Okay, I bet your cat's proud of you. I'm proud of you. Okay.
She's still there. Okay, thank you.
No, thank you. And I hope I didn't put you on the spot. Please let me know if anyone else doesn't know what's going on, because I will break it down and I want to make sure everyone's learning it. So, I'm seeing Valerie's got it. So yeah, and that is didn't do a shuffle. Okay, I'm gonna watch gallery view because I just want to check it out and see. Oh, Eric says, the cat says you're perfect. Yay. And everyone, I just want to do a round of applause to my first helper teaching the class, Julie, because she was awesome. Thank you so much for helping teach the class. If I don't have people like you slowing me down, I will just keep going and no one will know what's going on. So thank you. Okay, now I'm going to put it on gallery view. I just want to make sure you guys are all doing it. Can I just watch some of you do it? John Zenkowicz, that looks good. Evan, that looks really good. Sadir is like, I do this every day. Larry, I'm watching Larry. Larry, I'm seeing a couple people doing this. So what you're doing is you want to take from the bottom, drop it into your other hand. Don't take from it and then put it back into the deck. You're not doing this. You are taking and putting in the other hand, taking and putting in the other hand, taking and putting in the other hand. Yeah, that looks great, Larry. Awesome. Way to take notes. Valerie's got this. Valerie's been doing this for like 5 minutes. Thanks for being patient. Henry, that looks good. Paul, that looks really good. Jackie, I can't see your hands, but you look focused. Look good. Owen. Okay, everyone I think is on the same page. And if anyone has any questions, feel free to ask me or message me privately.
Can I just say something? Sorry to interrupt. When I'm watching Owen, I see his hand in front of it. So there's something that's different. I don't know what's going on there.
Owen, let's find,
Sorry
Owen,
to put you on the spot, Owen.
calling you out. Do you want to be, would you like help to make sure you're on it, or you're like, I got this, I'm fine?
My hands.
Okay, yeah, so, and you know, I will also say, if you do this sideways, it's really obvious what you're doing. So, and I'll get to doing a magic trick with this. You want to actually eventually do it just straight like this. So it's the difference between this and this. So
I think about it as if I'm pointing. I mean, obviously I'm not pointing at the
oh, no, you're
person, but I bend my finger, but as if I was pointing to the person, because that way I'm keeping the short side of the cards forward.
Oh, and I will say, I'm noticing you're taking from the back of the deck, which is where the pink is.
Okay.
You want to, so yeah, what he said, point at them like they murdered your friend, point, you did it. And then take from where the point is coming from. And you're like doing this, like I'm a dinosaur. like, you know, your wrists can be relaxed. Yeah, like, woo. So no need to do this. More like down here. And I know that's hard because you're like trying to keep your face and everything in this.
Right.
So try it this way. Try it so we can like look through your hand and see the other side. Yeah, so yes. And then try it towards us. Yeah, perfect. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Valerie. Perfect. That looks good.
So Katrina, a side comment.
Yeah, please.
So this is Sudhir. I grew up in India, and this is the way we all shuffled. So it was funny, and I'm a Hindu. So it was funny to come here and find out it's called Hindu shuffle.
Actually, that is weird. I went to Mumbai and I did this thing called the Aisha Ambani wedding, and they hired me to do walk around magic at a Geo Garden. I don't know if you know all those things.
Yeah.
But and it's weird that they call it the Hindu shuffle, because I'm like, dude, does that mean that this is the Christian shuffle? And like, Sarah, what's the Jewish shuffle? You know, like.
No, but it's interesting because this is the way, you know, I remember shuffling when I was growing up, and come to find out it's called Hindu shuffle.
Oh, thank you. I'm looking on my shelf because okay, so I'm not seeing it, so I'll find it another day. There was a recent book that actually came out about not just this issue, but some other related questions. But there are a number of pieces of magic that are, you know, the Hindu something, and this book explained why. I did not know, and I'm Sudhir, I'm awfully glad to hear you say that, because it means that what's in the book is correct.
If that was in the book, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these techniques are that were learned apparently in the Chicago World's Fair in a year that I can't remember. I want to say late 19th century.
I think it's 1893.
Thank you very much. In the Chicago World's Fair, there was a large section that was from, you know, different countries brought displays, and there were a bunch of magicians from India performing, and a bunch of American magicians went and learned from them, Harry Houdini among them. And so according to this book, a lot of these techniques that are very common now that we know and use, and sort of the reason that they're called, you know, the Hindu shuffle or the you know, the needle trick, or so, have those names because they were learned from this group of Indian magicians that came to Chicago for the World's Fair.
Interesting.
So I cannot swear to you that that's exactly the reason for this, but hearing that shuffle is commonly used in India kind of reinforces that. It meshes with that. So I'm awfully glad to hear that, and I will tell my friend who wrote the book and did the research that he can close the loop on that one.
Yeah, so when I did my thing in India, I did that a few times, and they were like, we know what you're doing. Like, they saw my sleight of hand because they're like, we are very familiar with this shuffle. You're retaining the bottom half of the deck. Like, so I was like,
okay, gonna have to up it a little bit for that.
Yeah. So anyway, that's cool. Yay, we learned something. Thank you, Sarah, and thank you, Sadir. Yeah. So I think
Thank
that's interesting. Now we just have to get down to the bottom of Chinese linking rings.
you.
Oh, that did come from China. There was a trip.
Really, it did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought it was just like white people 200 years ago exotifying like a whole country.
No. In again, I'd have to look up the years. I just don't remember them. But there were during I'm going to guess the height of European Orientalism, there was a group of magicians from China that came and performed around Europe and brought the linking rings, among other, common magic from China.
Oh.
And they were adopted, co-opted, appropriated. Use your favorite your favorite word for that. But they have become part of the magic canon all over the world.
Wow, that's like less racist than I thought it was. I just thought they randomly called it that. Cool.
Oh, I mean, the magicians who then decided to take advantage of the popularity of the Chinese magicians by performing in yellowface. Oh yes, hugely racist.
That, but I thought they were just randomly calling it that because it was mysterious.
No, that was the truth for other things, but the linking rings themselves did actually come from China.
Very cool. Okay, I'm learning something. Thanks, Sarah. This is good.
This has been Sarah's History Minute.
Okay, yay. So now you all know the Hindu shuffle. I'm not going to put you in breakout rooms for that because that's not really an entire routine. The mechanics grip, which is also in the Mark Wilson's book, I don't know which page, and the Hindu shuffle, which is page 47, are like parts of tricks, right? Like they're the ingredients to make the recipe, and you could do lots of cool things with them. So I'm going to teach you a few recipes that involve that ingredient. So this one I'm going to teach you. It's called the Hindu color change, and the Hindu color change is on page 53 of this book, if you have it. And I'm going to show it to you. Okay, so you should have 2 different colored decks. I'm not going to teach you how. I'm going to show you it so you have that mysterious wonder, and then I'm going to teach you. I have this pink deck. You might have a red one or a blue one, but basically I'm going to do a Hindu shuffle, show you all the different cards, and they're all awesome, super fun, cool. Now I'm going to spread them out. Well, here, let me first lower my camera so you guys can see my little close-up mat. Now I'm going to spread them out. Oh my goodness, wait, this does not work with a... Sarah, 1 second, guys. I planned this and I have like 1 second. I'll be right back. Do you know what I did? Okay, 1 second. I totally failed. Don't do that.
All right, we'll start again. Reset. So I will simply say that as I put in the chat, if you are interested in more information about this, the book is Fair Tricks, The Magicians at the Columbian Exposition, Chicago, 1893. I think that was Linda. Who said the date. You were absolutely right. By Jim and Sage Hodge. And let's see, I think there are lots of great pictures in here. So here's Asian street juggler. Let's see. Do you have actual pictures of the exposition? Here's there we go. Get my finger out of the way. And so they write all about who was there and what they were doing, and it's a fascinating story. So Sudhir, thank you so much for adding to my understanding.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me speak.
Sure. Katrina, are you?
1 second.
Okay. Oh, sorry. You need more time. That's no problem.
No, I got the deck and then you were talking about the fair. So I ran to the restroom really quick.
Oh, okay. Take your
I
time.
was like, oh man, I can't hold this for another 2 hours.
Okay. We could.
Okay, I'm back. I'm so sorry. I had human needs.
That's you are allowed.
So in a second, you guys will realize what I messed up. But it's honestly, I just needed to get a different deck that matches that deck, right? Anyway. Okay, so I got this deck. This is a Magic Flicks deck. I got it at a Magic convention and it advertises this brand. They're not that great. I just went and got them. Anyway, Magic Flicks, Sarah might remember that Magic Live. Anyway, so I'm gonna do the Hindu shuffle, all these different cards. They're all Magic Flicks cards. Oh my gosh. Okay. And now if I spread them out and I snap my fingers, magic. They have actually miraculously all switched backs. What? How though? I will show you. Okay. So one, this trick's great. But if you use a card that has a different face, then it's really obvious what you did, which is what I did. I thought, oh my God, these are two different decks, so this is fine. And then I realized the faces were different. So I'll explain to you what I'm doing. So let me start with setting up the trick. Now, Sudhir, you probably know what I'm doing because you do Hindu shuffle all the time. The cool thing about Hindu shuffle is it retains the bottom part of the deck. So I'm just going to show you with this very drastically different card, the King of Diamonds. And I have here this gold deck. So actually this is good for teaching purposes. You could see what I'm doing. I'm going to take this and put this on the top of the deck. So you have two different decks. One should be one type of back. So let's say like I have the gold, but yours could be red or blue, right? And then you have your second deck and you only need one card from the second deck. So since I'm teaching you, I'm going to show you, I'm going to use this pink card. So here's what you need. It's just one card with a different back. It's best if the face looks like the other cards, right? Like this Magic Flicks card has a white face, so it matches. Since I'm teaching, I'm gonna use the pink one just to show you what I'm doing. Okay, so you take this card with a different back and you put it on top. When you do the shuffle, you're gonna show the same back multiple times. So you wanna flip it upside down and put it in, oh my goodness. Put it in mechanics. You wanna do what you're doing before, but it's face up. If that is confusing, here's how it will land in your hand basket. So you grab the mechanics grip and you do that. Now, when you do Hindu shuffle, you're retaining the bottom, as I said. So you pull down and you're like, look, it's pink. Pull down. Oh my God, look, they're all pink. Pull down. Oh my gosh, they're pink. So much pink. Pink for days. Yay. Then plop it on there. So your guilty card is towards the back, the bottom part of the deck. That's important because when you spread them, you want to know where the guilty card is so you can not show it to people. So spread the cards. Oh my gosh, they all are the same. For intensive purposes of teaching, that one's pink, but it was the Magic Flicks one when I did it, right? Now you can snap your fingers, do a little magic, and they have all changed to the honeybee cards. What? And now see, I spread them all out, knowing that the pink one's over here. I don't spread all the way to over there, right? I hide it, hiding that little pink card, right? When I did it before, I did like a big cut and the pink card was in the middle. So I don't know if you guys noticed, I spread here and then I spread to the back and I just skipped the middle. But you just want to not show the pink card. Does that make sense to people? Let me see some people do this. Let's do this all together. We're going to do like Simon Says. So
Katrina, can I ask a question?
yes, oh yeah.
If you do the Hindu shuffle the other way, where you're holding the cards down in your hand as opposed to taking it from the top, how would you do it?
Wait, what do you mean the other way?
So you were pulling the cards. Show me again. How
So
you're doing the show.
let's say
Yeah.
I'm gonna use the Magic Flicks card.
Yeah.
So when I do Hindu, I mean, there's a couple ways you can do it. As
Yeah.
I was saying before, you can make the bottom hand be the one doing all the movements. So see, I'm showing you from the side. When you do this, it'll
Yeah.
be
So I want you to show me how to do it with the top hand making the move.
yeah. So I'm about to do
So
that.
cute.
Or other option, it's really just isolating the parts of your body. So
Yeah.
you grab with the bottom.
Okay.
It's so you're like grab with the bottom, and honestly it's dealer's choice, whatever comes naturally to people. I think I saw someone else doing both, like this is like exaggerated, right? But see how they're both moving. You know, you want to keep it small so it can be fast. So when I do it like professionally at things, I'm doing kind of like, and I guess I tend to do the top hand. But
Yeah.
honestly, I don't think there's a right or wrong way. Magicians will spend hours debating subtleties of little things. So
Yeah, we don't have much of a social life, so we
Yeah.
focus on nonsense like that.
yeah, oh no, I went to this jam last night and people were debating 4 different slip forces. I couldn't tell the difference between them. You're on a split force later, or not a split force, what is it? Slip force, yeah.
Of course, okay.
So what you want to do with this too is make sure it's not up, right? Because if I do that, oh no, I accidentally bury that one card. So make sure it's facing face up when you deal it. So you deal it down, show the top. Don't do this. This is bad. Don't do that. Deal it down, show the top. Peel it down, show the top. Make sure it's squared up. Don't, I'm like, say as I say, don't do as I do. So let's try this again. And you can make sure it's squared up by keeping the pinky of your hand on the top against the cards and making sure they're all flush together. So peel them off, show your card. Peel them off, show the bottom card. Peel them off, show the bottom card until, and as I said, I like to get down to where it's like one of the bottom 4 or 5. So the packet's really thin. You put it on, oh my goodness, sorry. Put it, and then you put it on the top. I like it to be towards the back because then you know to just avoid showing the back, right? So then when you reveal all the cards at the end, do this. Okay, does anyone else have any questions? No? Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna just do it really quickly as a group. I'm gonna put it in gallery view so I can watch all of you. Watch you all. Okay, so it starts out where you find you have your one card that's different face. Yes. Yeah, way to go, Larry. Okay. Owen, good. Okay. Now you're in Mechanics Grip, but you wanna flip it so it's face up. Yeah. Face up, Mechanics Grip. Take it in that hand. Yes, yes. Pull from the top. Show your card. Pull from the top, show that card. Pull from the top, show that card. Pull from the top, show that. Looking really good. Valerie, that looks great. Linda, that looks great. Okay, and when you get down to the bottom, cards like the last 2 or 3, you can just plop it on top. Now spread them out, which is pretty looking. Nice, spread them out. Look at all these cards. They're all the same. They're all Netflix, Magic Flix cards, right? But then if I snap my fingers, they all change. And actually, if you want different ways to reveal, ooh, look at this way Sarah's revealing. Sarah, I'm just going to spotlight you because it's pretty. And this is an example of how you can make it your own. So Sarah's going to reveal that they've changed by doing that. I'm going to reveal by doing a spread. Notice that it's chunkier where the guilty card is to hide it, but it's more spread out over here. That's how I choose to reveal that it's changed. Ooh, Linda's doing like a combo. She was, look at Linda. Oh, you had them all spread nice. So you can spread them any way you want to spread them to show. Just be sure you don't flash that guilty extra card. Oh, I see someone in the chat and I'm going to unspotlight you, Linda, but that was very beautiful. Some people wrote in the chat. Cool beans, thanks. I went to, oh, so, okay, yeah. Read the book about the Chicago World's Fair. Nice. Okay. That was looking really good. I think everyone's got that, the Hindu color change, page 53. Does anyone have any questions? No. Okay, that's great. Now I'm going to show you guys my favorite thing to do with this ever. I do it all the time. I probably use it so much that I'm almost abusing it. It's called the Hindu Force. So as you guys know, you're maintaining the bottom card, right? So you can do a lot with that. We're going to learn some forces today. I'm going to show you guys a magic trick. Yay. I need a volunteer though. Can I have someone help me? All you have to do is say stop. I'll use Henry. Hi, Henry.
Hi.
Looks very blurry outside where you are. So Henry, what I'm gonna, so many decks of cards. Oh my goodness. Wow. Look at all these. Henry, I'm going to do a shuffle in a second and I'm gonna ask you to stop. Let me just, I have a mess of cards here. Okay. Henry, I want you to tell me when to stop.
Stop. Stop.
Okay, take a look at your card, memorize it. Don't tell me what it is because it'll make this less impressive when I read your mind. Okay, the card you're thinking of. Is it a red card or a black card? Red card, black card. Oh, you blinked when I said black. Okay, it's a black card. Okay. By the way, I'm not a mind reader, but it's kind of like the show The Mentalist. Like it's exactly like that. I could just like read faces. Okay. My boyfriend hates it. Okay, so Henry, high card, low card. Oh, you blinked on high card. Okay, it's a high black card. Kind of like your shirt is black. Okay, ace, jack, queen, king. Oh, I don't know if you guys noticed his eyes went when I said jack. So it was the jack. A black jack. Clubs, spades, clubs, spades. You went clubs. It's a jack of clubs. Oh my gosh. Okay, so all of you guys watching this, you all know the Hindu shuffle. You guys probably all know how I did this because you know I'm retaining this bottom card. So when he tells me to stop, I just show him the bottom card. And it's very deceptive because if you're looking at this, it seems like they're shuffling, but you're not. So this, thank you so much, Henry. Thank you. Is just pageantry. I was just doing pageantry. You can copy what I did and do like cold reading and ask big questions to narrow it down. But you can also reveal this in a million different ways. So this is called a Hindu Force. You're actually not even really learning anything because you already know how to do this, guys. You just, you know, when they say stop, show that bottom card. I like to teach this because there's a quote, I don't know who said it, Sarah might know, that if you know one way to force a card, but 100 different ways to reveal it, you know 100 different card tricks. But if you know 100 different ways to force cards and only 1 or 2 ways to reveal it, then you know 1 or 2 card tricks. So you could do this and like force a card and like, so say I forced the 4 of diamonds. You could be like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Because I have this shaved tiger right behind me and it's shaved in their fur. It says 4 of diamonds, right? Or you could have like a blimp or a bunch of dancing men with little bow ties and they say 4 of diamonds on signs. I don't know, like depending on your budget, you can really get crazy with it, but you can reveal a card a number of different ways. But if you know one way to force a card, then you can do anything. So I want to talk a little bit about creativity because that's one of my strengths is I think I'm semi good at making things unique the way that you create a magic trick. And so this is an example of that. Come up with an idea of how you want to reveal your prediction that's unique to you. Does anyone have any ideas of how they might do this and reveal it to someone else, like maybe your partner or family member? Does anyone have any ideas for revealing a card in a fun way? Nope. Okay, you know what? We're gonna do a creativity exercise, everyone. I want you guys to just close your eyes. Close your eyes. Imagine you have like a show in Vegas. Think about something that makes you really happy, like a hobby. Like maybe think of your cat or knitting, or someone said they're like in the snow, maybe you're skiing or snowboarding. Think of something that makes you happy and says something about your personality. Think of like an object involving that hobby, and think of a way that a card could be revealed using that object or on that object. So maybe if you like snowboarding, you could be like, oh, you could have a card written on a snowboard that you reveal that's been on the stage the whole time. If you have a cat, maybe on your cat's collar, it says 2 of diamonds. So think of that. And imagine if you had like a Vegas show and you're saying, hey guys, this is my Vegas show. I'm like David Copperfield. I really like insert hobby here. Do the magic trick and then reveal it in your cool, personalized, specific way to the thing that you like. Does that make sense? Imagine that. Okay, now open your eyes. Open your eyes. Okay, on the count of 3. On the count of 3, I want you all to unmute yourselves and say the like thing that you were thinking of, like maybe it was your skateboard, your cat. Say the way you were going to reveal that card. On the count of 3, unmute yourselves. 1, 2, 3.
In a balloon.
Mark
With a
it.
little piece of paper in my cat, in my dog's mouth.
And a teapot.
Wow, I love it. I heard balloon in a balloon. I heard in a little piece of paper in my dog's mouth. This can be hard to do, but maybe your dog's really well trained.
He is.
That's great, you know. And so so basically you can make anything your own if you just kind of think about it. One of the things I like to do is I make lists of things that are personal to me, or stories, or things I like I love dogs, so I want to do a trick with dogs. And there's so many different ingredients you can use, and then you add a little spice of your personality, and that's what makes it different and special. So yay, creativity. So that's Hindu force. We're going to learn another force. You don't even necessarily need more than one force. Like is my theory, but also I'm a fan of like making presentation, the whole thing. But I'm going to teach you 2 different forces. Then you can pick which one you like. Maybe you prefer one, or you want to do 2 different ones in the same show to mix it up. Because if you do the same thing more than once, people might kind of figure out what's going on. So we're going to learn this thing. It's called a slip force. And unlike the Hindu, where the card you're forcing is on the bottom, the card you're forcing is going to be on the top. So I'm going to show you guys how I do this. Kenneth, my goodness, hello. Can you shout stop? Is that okay if I pick on you for a second? Nope. Oh, you're muted. That's okay. Oh, yeah. Perfect. So Kenneth, I just want you to tell me when to stop.
Stop.
There? Okay, cool. Look at where you chose to stop at. Should be the King of Hearts. Here, I'll do that again. Slow motion, slow motion. Tell me when to stop.
Stop.
There? I can go one more if you want. Okay.
Looks good.
Okay. So let's see where you stopped. The King of Hearts, or you can say, hold that card that you had me stop at, and then they'll hold it. I slide it because that's nice. But you guys, I'm going to teach you what I did. Thanks, Kenneth. Everyone, round of applause. Okay, so, oh my gosh, guess how this starts, guys? Mechanic's grip.
Mechanic's grip. Okay.
Mechanic's grip. Mechanic's grip, but face down mechanic's grip.
Okay.
Nice. Okay. And now these 3 fingers that are on the one side, you want them to really be hugging this top of the card. So, because you're forcing this top card. So I'm going to break this down, kind of like juggling. I think it's best if you break it into its little parts. So part 1, you want to be able to kind of take that top card and do this. Cool. Part 2, you want to riffle, right? So you got to learn to riffle. So let me show you riffling, because I'm doing this, right? But without any moves, you got to just be able to riffle. Like you want to learn how it would look if you were honestly doing it and not doing sleight of hand. So let's just practice riffling. So you're in mechanic's grip. How I riffle is I take my bottom of the basket, my pointer finger, And I put it under here so that I'm bowing the deck a little bit and giving it a little bit of pressure. And now if you notice, my thumb and my other fingers are on the top so it doesn't come out. Oh God, that's what you don't want to do. That's why I was showing you. You want to have control of it. Ooh. With your thumb and your other 3 fingers so that when you're bowing the deck, they don't pop out. Henry, that looks freaking awesome. Look at you. Owen has a cat. That's great. Owen, also your cards look good, but your cat's great. So Valerie, that looks okay, good. Let me know if I'm over explaining. I just want to make sure I get all the things. Okay, so now you take this thumb and you riffle and you try not to have them spring out, right? So keep a firm grip with these fingers. And just do that. Show me you're just honestly riffling. This is how you would do it if it was naturally like what you're doing and you're not cheating. Nice. Oh, and that looks great. John, that looks great. Ron, that looks good. Okay, so we're riffling. So that's what it would look like if you were being honest and not sneaky. So I'm going to show you guys the sneaky thing. So your other hand is here, right? And you don't pick it up like Hindu shuffle. You pick it up a little bit different. So when you cut to the card that they said, you pick it up with your middle finger and your ring finger on the front and your thumb on the back. And what I'm doing is I riffle to a card, and using these fingers, I retain the top card. So this is what I'm doing in slow motion.
Can't do that.
And no, it's cool. We'll slow down. And I appreciate your honesty. Okay, so riffle, riffle, riffle. Whatever they say, stop. So you're in this position. Everyone get here to where someone magically said stop. Linda, that looks great. Julie, that looks great. Okay, now you take like, this is like a llama guy. Like, oh, he yes, very good, Eric. Hello, this is my llama guy. And my llama guy, which are these 3 fingers, right? Takes the cards, slides them out, and these hands retain that top card, if that makes sense. I know some of you guys are a little confused. My computer's about to die, so let me plug that in really quick. Sorry, guys. I don't usually do things here, but I thought this zigzag is so cool.
It's great. I'm loving the backdrop. Absolutely.
It's real. It's real, and it takes up half my studio apartment.
I know, but you're committed to having the zigzag, and I think that's awesome. That's great. This is actually a new technique for me. I've always done it a little bit differently, so this is very cool. Because it's really clean, because I need to keep my thumb in play when I do it the way that I used to do it, but I'm going to do it like this now because it's nice and clean. You riffle with one hand, and then the other hand comes in and takes away, and the back fingers of that bottom hand are the ones doing the dirty work, and friction just keeps that your force card, the top card of the pack, and in that left hand, in your bottom hand, and leaves it on the top of the lower pack. So that's very cool. I really like that.
I didn't know I did it different. I don't know. That's just how I do it.
No, well, it's great. It's always good to learn new techniques for doing these things. And that's one of the wonderful things that I love about taking this class, is that I get to see how other magicians do it. And these are great techniques, and there's no wrong way. There's no one way. There's no wrong way. There's what works for you and what you can make work. So I'm always glad I'm learning a lot.
Can I really quickly see how you do it, Sarah? Like in the most guilty way? Like when I do it for people, I do it like this, right?
Uh-huh.
But when I'm teaching it, I'm showing the dirty work, right?
Right.
So can I see your dirty?
Well, I do it the other way. You pull it in and keep the top, the force card on the deck with your fingers. I learned it that I use 2 hands for the riffle. Okay. Oh. And then I use my thumb and I pull out in the other direction. and I use my thumb to hold the top force card.
Oh. Okay, see, there's
So you do the riffle with the thumb and then slide left or
Mhm.
slide in. I learned the riffle with the opposite hand, with the top hand,
Yeah.
and then pull out. And use
Oh, and that's great. See, I don't even know. And the thing is too, we could both read the same book and look at the same 100-year-old drawing and go, cool, and then do like two separate things.
Yeah.
So,
So I love it. I get to learn all cool new stuff.
so yeah, so that's, I like to do that. When you do this, don't do it like this, because that's bad. Like you see what's happening.
Right.
Hold it like this. And I like to like show it like here, because then they really see all these different cards going by, and that like makes it more cool. This is also weird looking, right? Kind of like pterodactyl arms, but so that's nice. And then, and it also, then you stop, I pull it out, and then when I do that, I move it this way so they don't see that. So they don't see this other card coming down. Yeah. So that's
I think the one distinction, if I may, is
Yeah.
that when you riffle with your thumb, there's
Mhm.
no index here.
Oh, that's true. Well,
So-
you can also do it like this. That looks pretty fair. And then
Yeah.
I like to, and this is like a subtlety, this is not important necessarily for you to do. I like to also go, for some reason, I think it squares up the deck. Also, and I was talking to another magician last night about this, and they were like, I don't like the slip force, it makes a sound. And so that kind of helps hide the sound, because you'll notice, I don't know if you can even hear that. There's a little whoop.
Yeah, but unless you know what you're listening for, you're not gonna
Oh,
not
yeah.
gonna catch that, because you are in fact sliding one thing along another. If you were doing it legitimately, you would be sliding one thing along another. So it's okay. It makes a little.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's not as loud, but
Right.
yeah, it's similar. It's where the sound would be anyway.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I don't know why, I do that.
I mean, it's nice. It kind of clears the, it makes it harder to, if you did catch something, it makes it harder to catch what you just saw. And it also, it squares up, as you do your riffle, we pull out. And sometimes, like I'm not so good at it yet because I'm just learning this one. Like here, my top force card is kicked out a little bit because it moved a little when I pulled out the pack. And doing that sort of resetting, it allows me to get that force card, in perfect line with the rest of the packet. So, okay, if this was a little messy, now it's nice and tidy and you have no idea what I just did.
Yeah, I like it. Okay, so everyone, does anyone else have any questions?
Yeah, I have a question.
Ooh, let me.
John.
John Kanzo.
Yeah.
I don't know your names, last names, sorry.
John Zenkowitz. John is fine. Because I have an injured thumb, I'm using the opposite hand. And Sarah just made a comment about when you do this, and I'm not that good at, when you do this, there's no index, but if you're using your right hand, there isn't, you can see all the different cards going by.
Yes. If you riffle with your right thumb.
Yeah. Hey, look at that.
Then
But
So just for discussion's sake,
yeah. Oh, hey.
is there gonna be an issue about the fact that they can see the cards or not? I don't know.
Not at all,
Okay.
because so, and then I hope that was the 5 of hearts. Yes. Yeah, you can do that. You could do either. For me, that I look really weird when I do that because I've only learned how to do it in the one hand that one way.
Yeah, no, I got that. It was just that I was trying to do it your way, but because I got an issue with my thumb, I
Yeah.
can't do the riffle, right? So I was doing it this way, and it's only when Sarah said something about the not being whatever.
Index, yeah.
Or is
So
it because?
also, you don't have to show it like this. Like,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, as there. So here, say I'm trying to force the 9 of diamonds.
Okay.
I'm kind of doing this, which makes it really fair. You see the cards changing, and then when I go up
Right.
that. So you could do it down here. You don't have to show the index, like
Okay.
riffle shuffle. Oh man, there's like a million ways to do it. So as long as you're not, as long as you're not going,
Yeah.
you're pretty good.
Yeah, because, yeah. I'm trying to do, let's say, the 7 of diamonds. So I can do this
Uh-huh.
and then, well, come out. Well, actually.
Yeah, you want to
here,
not
but,
flash it as
Yeah.
much. You got to practice a little bit, but yeah, that
Yeah.
looks good.
well, there you go. It didn't show up that time.
Yeah,
then
well,
it'll
and
be-
so I'm riffling it, and
Mhm.
then when I'm about to do the move, instead of staying here, because then they can see that, I slightly move it. So here, riffle, 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 super fair.
Right. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, you kind of.
Yeah. Just little things like that. You kind of like,
Right.
you just do it in front of the mirror, and practicing is like the worst. So what I do is I just like listen to an Audible book or watch TV.
Okay.
Listen to music. I'm ADD, so I have to do 3 things at once. And then I sit in front of the mirror while I'm doing the 3 other things at once with my ears. And I just watch in the mirror, like,
Okay,
what
yeah.
looks good. And I just do like 10 of them over and over again, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just see. That's my key to practicing. Do it, but listen to music or something so it's less boring.
Great.
Yay. Thank you, John. If anyone else doesn't have any questions, I want us to do it all together.
I have a question, Katrina. I have trouble just slipping one card, the slip force, because I'm not sure if I'm holding it wrong, but like,
Yep. No. Yeah. Show me.
so, if I do that, and now I'm trying to, just getting that one card.
I can't see what you're doing because you're doing this.
Hang on.
Yeah, perfect.
So now trying to, sorry. Yeah, so I think half the time I can get one card.
May I give you a note? So just really quickly so I can help you better. Instead of showing me like this, which is great because it blocks what you're doing. Your whole hand is blocking everything. Do it like this so I can see more of your hands. Yeah. Same thing. Just
yeah.
Oh, you're.
Studio, can you shut off your background blur? Because it's
Yeah. I just realized that.
Then we'll see the bodies, Sarah.
Okay. Good point, Sarah. Thank you. All right. So, yeah, I do that and just grabbing that one card.
Yeah.
I'm not sure whether I'm holding it right or wrong because.
No, actually, you're doing it right. It's just awkward. And with magic, sort of like Hindu, at times you'll have to have a lot of pressure on a part of the deck and less pressure on a certain part. So like, for example, Hindu, it's super tight. My thumbs are really tight on this part, but they're more loose on the top. So I can freely take from the top. But if I try to take from the bottom, it's like, it's like tug of war because it's a tighter pressure. So subtleties like that with parts of your fingers, right? Like having a tighter grip on one part and a lighter grip on another.
Okay.
So with this is pretty tight. This whole situation is really tight because you don't want them to spring out. But then when you go to grab them, you kind of loosen the grip with this hand of these middle cards. So see, when I did that, they almost kind of like jumped out themselves. At this point, my grip is not too tight on the top card, but the stickiness of my hands, like the porousness of my fingers, will retain that top card. And then the bottom card is really tight with the thumbs. But this middle packet is kind of wants to jump out anyway. So here, I'm just going to show you something. If I don't take this middle packet, it just falls. Right? So with that, it's a really little pressure difference, right?
Okay.
I don't know did that make sense?
Yeah.
To the people. So here, let me just again, so this is tight. Get to that thing, you kind of loosen these fingers. And pull all the cards but the one. And it's still, all this is tight, the thumb and the knuckles tight.
Yeah.
I hope.
Okay. Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yay. Good. Now, does anyone else have any more questions? If nobody else has more questions, then I think we should all do it together. I'm going to look on gallery view and make sure we're all doing it. Does anyone else have any questions? Okay, for intensive purposes, so we're all on the same page, let's all pull out the Queen of Hearts. So we can force that one. Oh my God, what if this doesn't have a Queen of Hearts in the deck? This deck, that's so funny. This deck is not a full deck. So I'm gonna do a Queen of Diamonds, but just—
Look in the glass behind you. Look in the glass behind you. No?
The glass? Oh
No,
no,
I'm just
it's
joking.
funny because I have like so many different decks going on here, but okay, so I'm gonna force the Queen of Diamonds. Everyone force a red queen. It can be hearts or diamonds. Okay, so that means put it on top.
Okay, sorry.
No, you're good. Put your red queen on top, like me. Okay, and now let's, either way, you can hold it up like this, you can do it down, just make it look not like you're showing them what's happening. Okay, so let's all riffle and I'll shout stop. Stop. Okay, everyone pause here. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page. We're going to do slow-mo. Pull those middle cards out. Retaining the top. That looks good, Larry. Evan, that looks good. I will say, Evan, it looks like you're doing it with the face cards. That kind of, you want to do it the backs of the cards showing. So just really quick, Kenneth, Valerie, that looks good. Okay, so here, let's start from the beginning again. Forcing that red queen. Make sure your mechanics grip, the red queen is on top and all the backs are up. You're not doing it like this because that really gives away what you're doing. You're doing it like this. Okay.
But aren't you holding, when you're doing it, are you like when you're riffling, Katrina, are you showing the knuckle and the face and you're riffling, and then when you do your slip, you're doing it back here, and this top card is that.
Let me spotlight you so I can see you and you're not a tiny.
Oh, I'm sorry. When you're riffling, aren't you knuckle and showing face? I'm doing riffle, right?
Yeah.
I slip out, and
Yeah.
this is the forced card, which is that card. So shouldn't you see the face of the cards when you riffle? And then I'm forcing this card right here.
So again, I said it's dealer's choice. So you can riffle down here. Riffle, they say stop. Bam.
I see. So you're riffling down.
Or
and then lifting it up when you do this.
Wait, Evan, or you can do what you were doing and riffle this way. And then, so there's, as I was saying, and I think Sarah was saying, there's a lot of ways you could do it. I saw someone else doing it like this. I was like, no. So, but yes, you're right.
Okay.
So either way, very good. Nice treadmill.
Like the piano.
I know, right? It's like the things that we have in our house that I don't use. I have so many large things I don't use in my studio apartment. Okay, well,
I was confused for a minute because I thought that you were complimenting somebody doing a move called a treadmill that I'd never heard of. It's like, whoa, damn, I gotta learn that.
No, actually, I'm just, because I do 80% of my work is virtual shows. And when I do virtual shows, I like to do what I call like virtual crowd work, which is like, I'll point out someone's background. I think it's a fun way to make people feel involved. It's just like a little virtual show note. If you guys ever do virtual magic, right? But it also makes people feel seen because like Ron has a freaking tiger as his background. That is a choice he consciously made, right? And look how happy he is that I acknowledged his tiger, right? But it took me like not a lot of energy to make him feel special. And it's freaking cool, right? Doesn't that tiger make you want to have a better background? I know it makes me want to be better. So anyway, what was I saying? So I like to do the fun kind of crowd worky things, right? I was like, oh, Paul, you're at the castle. So I was like, oh, nice treadmill, because he had a treadmill. That's what I was doing. That's my little virtual show tip. Crowd work, make people feel special. It's about connecting with your audience, which is a lot harder in this medium. So got to do little tricks like that. Where was I? Yes. Okay. So let's just one more time. We got this. We're almost to the end. Actually, we have like one more thing. And because we started about 2 hours ago. Okay. We might do a little Q&A. I think the show, the people doing tricks was about 30 minutes. So we started a little later too.
Yeah.
But okay, so everyone, we're gonna force the queen all together. Riffle however way you want. Stop. Do the slip force. John, that looks great. Evan, that looked good. Ooh, Evan's on a beach now. He wanted to step it up. Lawrence, that looks good. Okay. Now you can show them that's their card, or you can say, here, take it. And then they'll take it and that's their card. That looks great. Okay, so nobody has any questions. We all did it as a group and I was able to kind of check out what everyone's doing. It looked really good. Now, moment of truth. I'm gonna put you guys into breakout rooms. It's pretty crazy. And in these breakout rooms, I'm gonna give you guys like 5 minutes. One of you, we're gonna put you in breakout rooms of 2. One of you will do either the slit force or Hindu force or the Hindu color change. There's 3 different tricks you could do for one another. Pick which one you want to do. You could do the same trick or 2 different tricks, but everyone's going to get to perform for someone else. It's way less scary because it's just for one other person, okay? We're going to do little breakout rooms and you're all going to do a magic trick for each other.
I have a question though.
Oh yeah, who has a question?
Once you've got your queen card here, then what do you do with it?
Well, then you can do like with Hindu force. You can do anything you want. Like you can
With your remaining cards, do they go underneath?
Oh, so you force this card, right? So you show them, you can say, okay, memorize that card. Don't tell me what it is. Or you can say, say I forced this King of Diamonds. You can say, okay, take that card, and then they take the card, right? And then you close the deck and you can say, put it in your pocket and don't ever give it back to me. You can do whatever you want with it. It depends on this trick. So this is a creativity thing. I'm giving you these like ingredients to make your own magic. If you can force a card, which is what you're doing, you can have them put it back and then it's just buried in the deck. You can have them glance at it and then put the cards back on top and it's buried in the deck. You can do anything you want. And maybe that's a little bit scary because I know when I would have to be in high school or whatever, and they'd say, write a paper on whatever you want. That was harder for me than having a set direct, rule of what we're supposed to write about, right? So it's kind of the paradox of choice. You can do anything as long as you know how to force a card. So you can go anywhere with that. And you all thought of different ways you could reveal that you know the card, or you could do what I did and ask a bunch of vague questions and then pretend you mind read and go, oh, I know it's the Jack of Clubs, right? So there's a lot of ways you can reveal the card. And I encourage you guys to think of ways you can make it your own. You can also just go, Queen of Hearts, right? It could be really short or fast. I don't know if that answered your question or was more confusing. Was that helpful?
All right.
I don't know who asked that question even, so I'm gonna.
All right. So breakout rooms?
Yes, breakout rooms. And you could reveal, so when you do the breakout room, you can either do the Hindu color change where you're like, oh, the deck changed colors, or you can do either of the 2 forces we learned, the Hindu force or the slip force, but then you got to reveal that you knew the card they would choose or read their mind. And you can do it in a really creative way. You could be like, oh my gosh, my cat is telling me you chose the 2 of diamonds. Make it your own. Be creative. It's only for one other person. So if you mess up, it's not a big deal.
Okay, let's see. Okay, I think we've got it set up so that there are 2 people per room. All right, we'll see if we got it. Okay, open all rooms. We have some people who are not yet assigned. Let's see. can't assign them. There we go.
Am I with you again, Sarah?
I don't know yet. I'm still assigning.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so John, would you please join your assigned room? There we go.
Sarah, we had another thing that honestly requires another person. Do you want to still learn that, or do you want to, because it's getting late, open it up for questions and not do that last thing instead?
It is getting late. By show of hands, would you like to, I mean, we have had lots of magic today and we've learned a lot. Would you like to stick around and do one more thing? Show of hands, if you have to go. Okay. All right. So why don't
I want to stay.
you want to stay?
Yeah, that's it. It was like,
Stay.
who wants to stay? Show of hands if you want to go. And people.
No. I was saying like show of hands. If you have to go, that's okay.
Oh,
But then
okay.
I sort of
show of hands if you
trailed
wanna
off.
stay.
I sort of trailed off. So show of hands if you want to stay. And all right, we're getting Henry has already left.
Yeah.
And that's okay. All right, so before we do this, just in case people do have to go, there is one piece of business. We have we need volunteers to perform next time. So we've got the Hindu color change, and then the force that we learned.
I'll do Hindu color change, Ken.
Ken wants to do the Hindu color change. Okay, hang on, I gotta write this down. Color change. Thank you.
Herb Alpert, yay.
I really love the amount of cats in this classroom.
Okay. So, all right, Ken's gonna do the Hindu color change, and we need
I'll
a
do the
volunteer
force.
for the
In the force.
and Sudhir for the Hindu force.
Right.
Okay. Hindu force. Okay, so your mission, should you decide to accept it, which you've kind of already done, is Sudhir, the world is your oyster, how you reveal that card.
Will do.
So go wild. Okay. And I look forward to seeing what you come up with.
Okay.
Yes,
Sarah,
Ron.
can I say one thing? I really enjoyed the breakout rooms. I think that was a terrific idea on a number of levels. Getting to know the fellow students, where they're from. I don't know who thought of that, and I really don't care. Just wanted to say that was awesome, and unfortunately, I have to leave.
Okay, thank you, Ron. The video will be up. We'll put this one on YouTube just like we did the last one. Thank you for the response on the breakout rooms. I got to give Katrina credit for that, and we will repeat that
awesome.
exercise since it was fantastic.
All right.
Okay, so thank you. Good to see you, Ron. And all right, so we will move on to the next. What do we do as I do? Is that what's next?
Yes, okay. So this trick is called Do As I Do, and it requires 2 different decks of cards. I'm going to use 2. It doesn't matter if the faces are the same for this. So, but you know, maybe I'll just so you're less like visually offended by this pink deck. I won't use it because it's a lot. So I'm going to use 2 different decks, my Honeybee deck and my Magic Flicks promo deck. So you can have blue and red. So this is something called Do As I Do. You will need another volunteer for this. So you can't really necessarily do this on your own. I won't put you in breakout rooms after this because you can't really do it on your own, but I will teach it to you so that you can do it on someone else. So basically you you have a person, right? So let's just say I'm going to use Sarah. I'm going to use Sarah. Sarah, pretend you're in the same room as me.
Okay.
And also let me spotlight myself because that would be super helpful, wouldn't it?
Yes.
So Sarah, sorry, not trying to not have back issues. Okay, so Sarah, just choose, I have 2 decks here. Choose the deck you want to use.
The beehive deck.
Beehive deck. Okay, cool. And that's a totally free choice, everyone. Cool. So I'm gonna pretend to be Sarah, and myself. But pretend Sarah's in the same room. Okay. This is terrible trick to do virtually. Don't ever do this trick virtually. So I will say, okay, what page is that? This is page 44 of this book. Have notes. Okay.
Well done, Katrina.
What?
Well done, Katrina. You're
Yay.
organized and a crib sheet. I love it.
Yay, I know. And then I totally messed up the Hindu color thing, but that was kind of just like, I didn't think about it.
You know, who thinks about that? That's, you know.
Well, and these are just so like horrendously right. Okay, so anyway, sorry guys. Okay, we're on the same page. So you get your victim, they choose whatever deck. This is a free choice. You have them shuffle the deck. So Sarah, you're gonna shuffle the honeybee deck. You would shuffle it, it doesn't matter. It's in your hands. I'm gonna shuffle this Magic Flicks deck. And I'm not going to tell you how to do it. I'm just gonna show you what it would be like if you were there. So cool. Oh man, don't do that. You guys. What is my life? I'm a professional. You should learn from me. Okay. No, okay. So don't do that. So you shuffle your deck, right? You've shuffled your deck. Now you say, hey, Sarah, I don't want you to think I'm doing any funny business, right? So I'm going to use the deck that you shuffled, and you're going to use the deck that I shuffled, okay?
Okay.
Now, what I want you to do is I want you to look at your deck, kind of like how I'm going to do. Pretend you're looking in your little Magic Flicks deck. And I want you to find your favorite card, your favorite card. Now, I want you to pull that out of the deck. Don't show me what it is, though. And I'm going to find my favorite card, and I'm going to pull it out of the deck. So say I chose this card. I'm going to put it on the top of the deck. Well, yes. And then put the deck on the table. So your favorite card's on top of your deck. So just for all intents and purposes, I don't know what it is. Let's just pretend this card is Sarah's favorite card and that she chose it because she's physically here. She put it on the top of the deck and then she put it here. So this trick is called Do As I Do. My deck, where my favorite card is on top, because I'm the magician, is the B deck. And this is Sarah's deck, where her card is on top. Now, we're going to cut the cards as much as we want. So you're going to lead it. Like, just tell me when to stop. This is my attempt at doing this virtually. Tell me when to stop. Cut. Sarah. Okay. And then you complete the cut. If you were here, you could just do it. But since this is virtual, then I'm going to copy you. Do you want to do it again, Sarah?
Yes, please.
Okay. And since this is virtual, just tell me when to stop.
Stop.
Okay. And when this is in person, they can just do it. And then you complete the cut. I will copy you. Cool. We can do this as many times as we want until we both get blue in the face. But I'm going to just copy you. Okay, great. Now, there's no way that I could know where Sarah's card is, right? We cut the deck multiple times. She put it back in the deck. She picked it out. She did all of this. I'm just copying her. Now we're going to switch decks. I'm giving her my favorite card deck. And she's going to give me her deck that she's been using. And I'm going to look in here and I'm going to try and find my favorite card. And you, Sarah, look in this deck and try to find your favorite card. Okay, so I'm going to find this. Okay, and now I'm going to take my favorite card and I'm going to put it down here. And Sarah, you take your favorite card from this other deck. What was it? Because I honestly don't know. 5 of clubs. Okay, 5 of clubs. So I'm pretending to be Sarah right now. Hey, I'm Sarah, and I know a lot about the law and stuff.
That's your imitation of me, really? Okay.
Oh, you know what's really funny and sad? So this has happened before. Remember, this deck is not a complete deck. This does not include a card. This deck literally doesn't have a 5 of clubs in it because it's not a complete deck. Sorry, guys.
I thought you sent it to Sarah's house. I was really impressed. I was like, you just sent the card to Sarah's house. That's amazing.
Yes.
So I do magic with, I don't usually do tricks like this. I do tricks where people sign cards and I give them away. So none of my decks are complete sets half the time.
Nice. So here's your evidence. I'm sorry, I have to do this joke. Katrina is not playing with a full deck.
This is like really embarrassing. Sorry, guys. Okay, so and that's crazy. What are the odds? Pretend this is the 5 of clubs, right? So Sarah takes the 5 of clubs that is her favorite card and she puts it down. Now this is my favorite card, right? That I picked out of this deck that she shuffled, all this stuff, right? And this is her favorite card that she picked out of a different deck. Wouldn't it be crazy if our favorite cards matched? Pretend they do. Pretend they're both the 5 of clubs. Because again, this one doesn't have a 5 of clubs. So God damn. If that was really confusing for you, I'm so sorry, and we will do this again. And I'm so sorry if that was confusing. So this tricks do as I do. I basically find their favorite card, right? And they're doing everything, right? They're handling the cards, they're shuffling it, which makes it really, really convincing and interactive and very strong. It's a really strong magic trick. And it's very easy, self-working. You basically don't have to do almost anything. By the way, round of applause for Sarah for being my hypothetical person. Okay.
I'm a real person.
Pathetically speaking.
Okay, so in order to do this trick, there's pretty much no setup at all. This is amazing. You just have 2 different decks. So get out your 2 different decks. Make sure all the cards look the same because we're not doing Hindu color change. We're doing something else. Take those 2 decks, put them on the table in front of your spectator. Cool. So your spectator chooses a deck. This is a totally free choice. This isn't a force. Asking them to choose which deck they want to work with first just makes it seem more magical. The more choices you can give the person, the better, right? Even if they're totally pointless choices, it makes them feel like it wasn't, right? Like it's more magical. So it doesn't make a difference. So say my spectator again chooses the Magic Flicks deck. They're going to shuffle the deck. You don't do anything there. They're shuffling the deck. You're not doing anything. Well, you shuffle your deck. You want to peek at the bottom card. So the bottom card for me, let's say, is 6 of clubs. We're going to try 6 of clubs this time. Hopefully that's another deck. 6 of clubs. 6 of clubs. Now, when you shuffle your deck, you want to retain the 6 of clubs as being on the bottom, right? So when I do this force, I don't know what the shuffle force, I'm going to
put a dovetail shuffle.
Yeah, I'm going to put the 6 of clubs down, and then it doesn't matter how I do the rest of them, right? But I know the bottom card is the 6 of clubs. Or honestly, you could do whatever the heck you want. And then as you're squaring them up, look at the bottom card. You don't even have to do any fancy moves. I'm overcomplicating it by saying that. Sorry, guys. Just shuffle them however the heck you want, any way you want, very fairly. And then just casually like glance at the bottom card, right? Like.
That was very casual, Katrina.
You know. Don't do that. But you know what I mean. Okay, so 6 of clubs, right? That's your key card. You guys know all about key cards from last time, so you're gonna be so good at this. That's your key card. Now you're like, oh my God, to be super fair, let's swap decks, right? Because I don't want to use the one I shuffled. You might think I did some fancy magician-y stuff. So you swap your decks, knowing that their deck has the 6 of clubs on the bottom. So you instruct them to look through the cards. They can see all the cards. And funny because the bottom of this deck's the 5 of clubs, but you look through them and pick a card. So here, I'm going to be the spectator. Oh my God, I'm the spectator. So the spectator, say their favorite card is the 8 of diamonds. they're going to take the 8 of diamonds and you instruct them to put it on the top of the deck. So that means their card is the 8 of diamonds on the top and your key card is still the 6 of clubs on the bottom. Then you have them put it on the table, right? And you want to be very specific with these instructions that they put that on the top. And then you, it doesn't matter, just do the same thing, but it doesn't really matter what the card is because it doesn't matter, right? So it could be anything, put it on the top, doesn't matter, but act like it matters. Put your deck down. Cool. You remember that the key card in here is the 6 of clubs, I think. Yes, the 6 of clubs. Okay. You remember that from the beginning. That's the only piece of information you have to remember. Now, have them cut it as many times as they want, and you copy them. You do as they do. So they cut it with their honeybee deck. Bam. And you do this in front of you if you want, as I'm doing it. And it doesn't matter how many times they cut it, as long as the cut is complete, the key card will always end up on the top of their chosen card, right? So then when you switch decks, and you do the same thing, you do as they do. When you switch decks, you pick your favorite card from this new shuffled deck, right? There's no way you could know. You look through the deck and you find your key card. So you find the 6 of clubs. Where's that little 6 of clubs? And the one under it will be their card. So it'll be the 8 of diamonds. So you take that out of the deck. You say, I picked my favorite card. And this is great because it's so clear. You put it there. It's the only card there. And you ask them to pick their favorite card and put it down. And then you have that really just nice, sexy reveal where they both match. Yeah, very simple. And that's, well, that doesn't match, but you know what I mean. I hope that's not I hope that's not confusing to you guys. I didn't do Sarah's part. She picks her favorite card from this other stack, which, oh my gosh, is the 5 of clubs, right? And then she puts it down and then they both match. My goodness, where's that 5 of clubs? Are you? Oh, it's already down here. Okay, no, I'm looking anyway. I'm sure that was very confusing. So does anyone have any questions?
I would make one suggestion, if I may.
Oh, please.
Just and I just think about this because I was the volunteer for this.
Mm-hmm.
And so the first thing that you asked me was to pick, I can't remember which one I want to work, which deck of cards I want to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And you sold me that was going to be my deck.
Ah, okay.
You gave me the deck that I asked for to shuffle, and then you took it away from me. And I didn't like that because I wanted that deck. So I would, I think this would work, and tell me if I'm missing something, because maybe I'm missing a step. If you started, instead of giving me the deck that I asked for, said, okay, great, you're gonna work, you want the honeycomb deck, you're gonna get the honeycomb deck, I'm gonna do the Magic Flicks deck. First, I want this to be perfectly fair. You shuffle my deck, I'll shuffle yours.
Yes, that's it. I don't perform this trick that often. So
Fair enough.
Reading the book.
Oh, is that what's in the book? Oh, okay.
Something like that. Yeah, actually, let's.
So, but that way, as the volunteer, okay, I'm shuffling the deck, and then I give it to you, and I get mine because you've kind of led me to that deck.
Ask the spectator to select either pack, so you don't even tell them what you're selecting it for. This is a free choice. Let's assume that he takes the deck with the red backs. This leaves you with the blue backed deck. Then you say, this is a do as I do, right? Like Simon says. And the first thing you will do is to shuffle your blue deck, and then they shuffle their blue deck. So, yeah.
I kind of liked that you told me that I was going to work with one, and I'm picking the one I'm going to work with.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No,
I kind of like that. And but then I didn't get to work with my deck.
Yeah. So then it says number 4.
Yeah.
And this is on page 45. Stress to the spectator that to make sure that all is fair, you will trade decks with him, so you will be using a deck that he personally has shuffled. So actually, Sarah, your thing kind of combines what I said and the book into one sentence, which I think is less confusing than what I said and what the book says. So yes, but again, and I'm sorry, I'm such a hippie teacher. I'm like, do what you want. How do you want to show this? You know,
I agree with you. And you'll do, when you perform, you do what you do it the way that feels right to you and for your character and your presentation. I'm just, the reason that I say this is because I, as a spectator, I had a little bit of a moment where I had my deck of cards and then you took it away from me and I went, oh.
No, definitely, especially when it's like, look at this pretty gold B deck and look at this crappy deck I got for free at a trade show. You know, you're like, I wanted that one. And it doesn't feel like a free choice if I take it away from you.
You made me develop a preference.
Yeah, exactly. So yes, do what Sarah said, not what I said. I mean, not what I did.
Can I have that like engraved on a plaque somewhere? There's
yes.
No, but you're great, and it's so. Let me just ask the room quickly. Do you understand the trick? Shall we go through this together, and everybody does it with their two decks in front of them, or shall we do this again once cleanly with cards that are going to match up so you see the whole thing?
Yeah.
Once clean sounds good.
Do it once clean. Okay. So Katrina, you want to take it again and tell me what my favorite card is?
Before you do it, this is Ken. Can I ask a question? I am reading, and it does say take your favorite card. To me, choosing my favorite card may be the Ace of Spades or something, not the chosen card. Should we rephrase that, even though that's what the book says on page 46?
The Katrina is telling me, the spectator, to take my favorite card. It doesn't matter what my favorite card is, because my favorite card is going to go, okay, for the purposes of this conversation, my favorite card is the Queen of Diamonds.
Ah, gotcha.
I then place my Queen of Diamonds on top, and then I'm going to cut it, which puts it next to the key card.
That's right. Okay, thank you.
Sort of related, but unrelated, since this kind of the theme of today is about presentation and creativity. For me, I'm so excited that because Sarah chose the lesson plans and all the things from the book. So she told us what we're teaching, but I kind of like helped be like, oh, these are the things I like. I've been wanting for like years to find a trick about people that look like their dogs. Because I don't know about you guys, but sometimes you notice some people match their dogs, right? Like you might see like a bald guy who has like a bulldog and they both look kind of tough, or like an old lady who has like a little poodle with white hair. For some reason, I think this is like a phenomenon. And so I was thinking, for what I'm going to use this for, I'm going to make two different decks. I'm totally going to freaking do this. Makeplayingcards.com, by the way, write that down if you guys want to make your own decks of cards, makeplayingcards.com. I'm going to get a deck that's a bunch of people, right? And then I'm going to get a deck that is a bunch of dogs. And the dogs are going to match the people, and maybe they'll have letters or numbers on them so you know which ones match which, right? It'll be funny. And then I'm going to talk about this phenomenon. I'm going to be like, hey, you know what? I want you to go through this deck, pick your favorite dog. And I have this psychic power. I can match the people to their dogs. And then I'm going to do that, and then we'll reveal it, and it'll be like, the young little 8-year-old boy and his little puppy, right? Like it'll be the matching person to their dog. And I'm so excited, Sarah, because I've been wanting something that follows that story and premise for forever. And I think this is perfect. So that's what I'm going to do with this trick. You can do that or do just the playing cards. And maybe that terrified you more, but and made you scared, but it's okay. It's like more simple. Okay, so I'm so sorry that my decks aren't full decks. I'm going to pick a card that is definitely in the other deck.
Okay, you will tell me what my favorite card is.
Yes, so we're just going to say your favorite card is the King of Diamonds.
Okay, King of Diamonds, got it.
You make sure that's in this other deck. And I'm sorry, guys. I don't have that many decks that aren't all red bicycles. So I used this honeybee deck.
I don't have that many decks that are full decks.
Yeah. I did it too. Also, what if they choose the key card by coincidence? Then you have an invisible deck.
Well, that's a good question. Hang on, let's think about that. If they pick the key card, so I've got the deck, and we've got the 6 of clubs as our key card. And look, lo and behold, that happens to be my favorite card. Yeah, so then you're gonna come up with whatever random card was on the top of the deck before. And you're gonna be wrong. Yeah. In which case, yeah, we go to the invisible deck.
Or I just had an idea. So say it's the 6 of clubs, right? So I'm like, oh my gosh, your card, I'm going to put my favorite card out, right? This card, the 3 of hearts, that was above it. And then I reveal it and it's wrong. I can say, oh, you probably will, there's 1 in 52 chance this happens, so it probably will never happen. But if you do get it wrong, you'll know exactly what the card is, right? You'll know that it's the key card. So you can go, oh no, I'm so sorry. This is not your card. This is the card that's going to tell me what your card is. The 3 of hearts just told me your card's the 6 of clubs. Bam! Right?
That's a really good point. That's because you won't have it in your hand. You'll be wrong, but you'll know what the key card is.
Yeah, then you can be like, oh, that's crazy. The 3 of hearts, that was just misdirection because I have a tiger here that has a tiny sweater on, and on that sweater is knitted 6 of clubs.
Awesome. See, that's why you're the pro, Katrina.
Yeah. I just really want to, I'm like, encourage you guys to reveal cards with tigers.
I'm getting a tiger tomorrow.
I know it's outlandish, but I want you guys to be inspired and realize that magic doesn't have to just be like, is this your card? Bam. You know, it can be so much more. Okay. Sarah, I'm so hyped about this dog trick. I'm immediately going to go do this.
You know what? I have heard her talk about this idea before and looking for the right trick. So I am so thrilled that you finally had your epiphany.
I have told you about, yes.
You have told me about this. All right, so Katrina, let's do this thing. My favorite card is now and forever, the King of Diamonds.
Okay, yes, sorry. Cool. I have stuff to do today too, you guys. Thank you for the patience. And I appreciate you guys with your patience. Okay, so. Hey, no! Oh my God! Did you guys see that? I don't. Why did that?
That was the spirits.
Oh God, this is gonna be on YouTube forever for people to watch.
Well, we'll clip this part out and put in your set from Fool Us.
Yeah.
Here's Katrina looking awesome.
Okay. Okay. Sweet. Okay, Sarah.
Yes.
Deck would you like to work with?
I would like to work with the Magic Flicks deck.
You do? Okay, great. If you're going to work with the Magic Flicks deck, then I'm going to work with the B Golden deck. So for this to be super fair, we should shuffle each other's decks.
Okay.
Super fair. So you shuffle this B deck that is mine.
Okay.
And it's off screen because you're shuffling it. I'm shuffling this Magic Flicks deck because it's going to be yours. Now, when I shuffle this Magic Flicks deck, I happen to casually notice that there's a 3 of hearts on the bottom. So that's what you guys are going to do. Casually notice that. Don't point it out like I am doing. Now, we're going to switch decks because you wanted to work with the Magic Flicks deck and you get what you want, Sarah.
As it should always be.
Okay, so I know that the 3 of hearts is the key card on her deck. I'm going to say, do as I do, right? This is do as I do, Simon says. So Simon says, I'm Simon. I'm going to pick out my favorite card from the deck or a random card. It doesn't matter. Or a dog. It could be this. I'm over confusing it. I'm sorry, guys. Pick your favorite card from the deck. Yes. Put it on top of the deck. Okay, put the deck down. So Sarah's showing what the person will be doing. Let's say you chose
the King
of Diamonds. So this is Sarah. She put the King of Diamonds on top. The 3 of hearts is on the bottom. Sarah has put her deck down. I've put my deck down. This has all happened at the same time. Now, do as I do. I'm going to cut the cards. And then Sarah will cut the cards. When I did this the first time, I had her do it and then I copied her. It's, again, presentation, but it's do as I do. So she copies me, whatever. It doesn't matter. As long as the decks are completed, key card will end up on top of her card. My card is the honeybees. So I give them honeybees to her and I say, hey, check out the honeybees now. Pick out your favorite card from the honeybees, which would be the King of Diamonds. So I'm Sarah, I'm being Sarah. I take the King of Diamonds. Put it there. Now I'm Katrina now. This is why it's look confusing,
We
guys.
need hats for this demonstration.
I'm Katrina. Yeah. Now I'm going to look in the cards that Sarah gave me, and I'm going to look for her key card. So the key card is the 3 of Hearts, right? That was what was on the bottom. So that means her card will be the one right under it or to the right of it, the King of Diamonds. So I know that. I take it and I put it down. Now there's this tension. There's this beautiful picture of 2 cards. There's this moment of truth. And I say, wouldn't it be pretty crazy if our favorite cards matched? And they do. What? And I'm glad you asked me to, I hope that was more clear to everyone. But then also we could go over this all together, but I think you guys are familiar with key cards. So and it's also really weird and hard to do this without another person here. So I thought maybe we could take a vote. Does anyone want to step by step, like I'll look at gallery and watch what you're doing, do this all together right now? Raise your hand. Or other option. You guys get the gist, you'll practice it and do it next week, and we don't need to further work on this. So raise of hands if you want to work on this further. One person. Raise your hand if you're like, this is good. I'm going to go practice it on someone in my family, freak them out. I got it, because we already know key cards. Okay, great. Most people did that one. Sorry, we're going to do that. We're going to not work on this anymore. But does anyone have any last questions about this trick? No, they don't. Okay, great.
Paul, if you have more questions, you want to talk about it, let me know, and we can talk later or Zoom ourselves. Okay.
Yes, and I did want to say, I know we're late. If anyone doesn't, I wanted to open it up for like maybe a 10-minute quick Q&A. If anyone has any questions for me at all, just about magic in general, about doing Penn and Teller's Fool Us, about life or dogs. I also did do a penguin lecture. If you buy it from me, I can give it to you for $10 less than on the Penguin Magic website if you want to learn more. And I'm sorry, I'm not trying to use this to pimp myself out, but I will also send my contact information into the chat. If you have any questions about anything we discussed, you can email me or Sarah. You should all have my email, and that's my website and my social media. If you want to ask me any questions directly, or just say hi, or if you're ever in LA and you want to go to the Magic Castle with me, that's my contact info. Spamming the chat with it. Does anyone have any questions just in general, or do you guys want to leave? What do you want to do, Sarah?
Well, first I need a volunteer for next week who's going to do the Do As I Do. And this should be somebody, I think it'll be easier if it's somebody who has another person that they can bring in for the demonstration, since Katrina and I aptly demonstrated how difficult it is to do if you are allowed to do virtually. So can I have a volunteer, or I will volunteer somebody?
Don't have anybody with me.
John, you were saved by John Z. Who's all right.
Right.
Thank you so much.
I'll get my wife to come in.
All right, the sacrifices that she makes. Okay, you are down for Do As I Do.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so one of the things that we talked a little bit about today that I look forward to seeing you do next week is, finding that prediction or the forced card in an unusual way, in an unusual place. And Katrina, you're a very creative performer. I love how you think about magic. How do you pick? I mean, the world is your oyster. What's on your list of things that you'd like to do sometime?
Yeah, so I'm working on a lecture about creativity, so I can do some little tidbits that I'm working on.
Tell us, how do we find that inspiration?
So I like to think like, what if I broke down the trick, what is going on? So for example, when I did Fool Us, the basis was a card trick where you separate the black cards and the red cards, and you have your spectator separate them, and then they were right. We revealed that all the black cards and the red cards are in the right pile, right? So I thought, well, at the end of the day, what is that trick? What are you doing? You're making a choice between two things, right? Choice A and choice B, black cards, red cards. And you're separating them, and then the spectator's right, you know, right? Like they just figured it out. So what I do to be creative is I think like, what is the basis of what's happening, right? So for the do as I do, something is matching something else. And there's a bunch of this thing and a bunch of that thing, and yet somehow those things match. So then I think, well, what's a story like that in real life? I've been trying to find people matching their dogs as a whole premise I've been trying to shove into a magic trick for like 2 years. So that's how I found that. When I did Fool Us, I thought, okay, blacks and reds are being separated. Where is a choice in real life where you're separating something, separating two things? So then I thought of like, okay, dating, right? Like when you do Tinder and you swipe right or left, and you're like looking at someone's picture and you're thinking, do they look like they're going to murder me? Should I go on a date with them? Right? You say yes or no. I pitched that to the producers, like, and they said that was too dark. So, but that's how it starts. So I had two piles, and instead of playing cards, I had pictures of men and women that I could potentially date, right? And on the backs was X's or check marks, right, of if they were good or bad for me. And they put them in a yes pile and a no pile, and then I reveal, that. So that's kind of how that started. So if you have a trick you're doing, I like to think like, okay, at the end of the day, what am I actually asking the spectator to do? Am I asking them to make a choice? Am I asking them to separate something, to match something? And then if I'm trying to think of it as like a metaphor or a problem in real life that's relatable, because cards are kind of, I think personally, boring and not relatable unless you put meaning on them or make them something like photos or dogs, or tell a story. Think about what story from your life or situation you could put on that. Does that make sense?
It really does. I mean, it certainly does to me. I mean, I hope that the room kind of gets that. A lot of magicians who do cards will do, we'll talk about gambling because that's there's a connection there. And also it raises the stakes. One of the problems that magicians face is that it's a performance where, the level, the stakes are low, the conflict is low. What makes for a really good play, what makes for a really good movie is when there's conflict. And when there's a reason for us to care. The stakes are high. If you're walking on a tightrope over Niagara Falls, the stakes are very high. If you fall, you will die. And if you're walking on a tightrope across my living room, stakes are low. If I fall, my downstairs neighbor Harriet might yell at me. And so nobody cares. It's the same act. It's the same action, but in one, stakes are very low and nobody wants to watch that. In the other, stakes are high and everybody wants to watch it. Not so they see me die, but I might, and they want to be there. So, so you think you got morbid, Katrina. So one of the dramatic problems of magic is that the stakes are low. If I offer you a deck of cards and you pick a card and I'm going to find your card, okay, so you want to see if I can do it. You want to watch me do it. But, really, if I fail, so there are no stakes. Nothing's at risk. So the reason to care is pretty small. So Katrina raised the stakes really high in her first description of this card trick, which is, who's going to axe murder me? Because the stakes of picking who to go on a date with for a lot of women are pretty high. You're wondering if the person that you're going out with is an axe murderer and going to dump you in an alley somewhere. And those are pretty high stakes. They are, however, morbid and not so entertaining for a home audience. So one of the questions that, is how do we raise the stakes? How do we make you care? This is, it's a card, but how can I make it important that we find this card? one of the ways is to make it your card. You're the volunteer, you pick the card, therefore it's yours, it represents you, and you know, to kind of create ever so subtly a bond between you and the card. Still fairly low stakes. You talk about gambling, suddenly you're raising the stakes, because now we all know about gambling, and we know that it's for money, and we all understand the value of money, and that is literally raising the stakes. You know, I'm talking about a situation where if I was gambling, you know, my money is at stake, and I could lose, you know, I could lose my rent. And now, okay, there's a reason that we're going to care if I win or lose, because it affects my life. So that's one of the challenges that we face in Magic, is a way to, you know, make people care, to raise those stakes. And telling a story is one of the ways that we do that. So.
Yes, I love it. Oh, I also have one other creativity exercise that might help people. I learned this when I studied improv at Second City. I just happen to have this cup here. And this is something that like people do in improv and comedy sketches, like Saturday Night Live people. They'll get like 2 hats, right? And they'll take a bunch of little pieces of paper. And so they'll take one piece of paper and they'll put like a premise. I'm so sorry. I don't know if you can hear the police and the firefighters behind. Sorry, guys. So they'll take,
what did you run now out the back door? We'll cover for you.
Like, what is going on? Okay. Where was I? My goodness, I'm so sorry. Okay, so they'll take, Eric studied at Second City too. What? Yeah, Viola Spolin. Yes, and okay. So one of the things they'll do when they're coming up with sketches is, and this is for sketches, they'll have 2 different hats and little pieces of paper. So they'll put like a premise or relationship, right? Like roommates, you know, that are all sharing a bathroom, or women in a knitting group, or divorce lawyers at a bar. You know, they'll put some, like, you know, that in a hat. And then they'll be like, what's something wacky that would be funny? And they'll put that on little pieces of paper in a different hat. Like, twist, they're all turtles. Twist, they're all really narcissistic. Twist, they're leprechauns. Twist, one of them hates all the others. But, you know, so something that's weird or odd, you know. Then they'll have these 2 hats with like a premise and like a normal thing. And then the thing that's weird, because for comedy or a situation to work, it has to be grounded with a little bit of reality. So it details that make sense. And then you need something that's like a twist that mixes it up. So anyway, you have these 2 hats, you pull from the 2 of them, and you might get roommates that are sharing a bathroom, but they're all turtles, right? So then you do a scene where you're like, we're really slow in the bathroom. And the other turtles are like, man, you're so shellfish. Shell. Okay, this is bad. But that's a creativity exercise where you have these things and it forces you to be creative. So I think we can take this in Magic and do something a little similar, right? So think about like, okay, a torn and restored trick. Like think about the types of tricks that exist, right? Something is broken or torn and restored. Something is found. Something matches something else. You know, the possibilities are endless. Think of all the tricks you know and the core idea that's happening or the core thing. Put that in the bag, right? Like this thing matches this thing. Then think of premises like dogs, turtles, skateboarding, I don't know, whatever. And then you pull the hat and it's like, you know, I'm trying to think, oh my goodness, torn and restored, and you get skateboard. You might think, well, that sucks. And then you can just throw that out, but then you can try it again and get torn and restored. And maybe you get magazine like Cosmopolitan magazine. I think it'd be funny to rip one up and then restore it, right? So then you have that. So it forces you to come up with your own magic. So you can use that in Magic or just in life. And that's a really fun creativity exercise. I don't know if that was helpful or not. But
another creativity exercise that a lot of magicians do, a lot of magic clubs do, is in my club we called it magic. What was it, like magic from a paper bag challenge, something like that, where the group would divide into teams, and each team would get a paper bag some stuff in it. And sometimes it would be a magic, a proppy thing, or sometimes it would just be a random object. And then you'd sort of go and huddle in your corner and you'd come up with a magic trick or a couple of magic tricks using those random objects. And you'd have to figure out, your narrative, your story, whatever you're doing with that, and then do something magical with whatever these bizarre things are that you just got. And it's not about doing the best trick. It's about, coming up with something and, on the fly and kind of stretching and dreaming and imagining and not being, kind of bound by what's in the book or what, magicians always do. It's just about trying something and, seeing what you can come up with.
I love that. So I feel like that is just, closing, if I end it. And this is like from Bizarro. This is where I got this idea, is this magician Bizarro. But basically, the more you limit yourself, the more creative you will be sometimes, So that's all I could say. The more you limit yourself, the more you can be creative.
I do, and I think that's a fantastic ending. Thank you so much, Katrina.